Hello again. Often I see online, people saying things like, what's the best turntable? And sometimes I see, people making videos saying, well, this is the best turntable. But of course, it's not. There's not a best. There may be the best for you, but that may differ from the best for other people. And that, maybe because of the ancillary equipment that you've got, or your particular room, or whatever. Anyway, what I've done is I've bought what was said to be the best tuner by this magazine. This is Hi-Fi World, and I used to subscribe to it because A, I enjoyed reading it, and B, you'd often get some good freebie when you subscribe. And this describes the best tuner as the Leek Troughline. And it says here, from 1956, Series 1, an interesting ornament, but limited to 88 to 100 megahertz only. 2 and 3 are arguably the best sounding tuners ever. Adaptation for stereo easy via phono multiplex socket. Deliciously lucid with true dimensionality. So I went and bought one. Here it is. Now, I took a while to buy it for a couple of reasons. The first thing is that, as I say, there's several in the series, and indeed even within them there is some variability. And so the one I got is this, which some people say is the best of the series, and this is a Leek Troughline 3. And as you can see at the back, it has got one phono plug, because this is the mono version. Now, there is here a phono multiplex socket, which means you can add an external decoder in order to make it a stereo version, and also you can apparently get internal ones as well. So otherwise, the back's fairly plain. You get this, which sets the input voltage to 50 to 30, 110, etc. You get little screw terminals for aerials around the front, and this is not the best preserved. You get here a on-off switch, and but this has also got an output volume part. You get 2 switches down here, which is for local and distant eye sensitivity, and AFC on and off, and here you have a tuning knob. The dial is lit behind, and at this end there's kind of a magic eye valve, which sort of shows you what the tuning, the signal strength is. The other reason I wanted to get it is I wanted to wait to get one which said serviced, or serviced recently, which this is. Now, serviced on eBay can mean a lot of things. It can sometimes seems to mean, people gave them a bit of a brush with a cloth before they sent it off, or it can mean something more involved. And this is one of the reasons I got this, is that this seems to have had the more involved service. I say it was recently, and certainly, I've taken the back off and had a look inside, and it looks like some of the capacitors look fairly new. There's a particularly kind of a big one at the back here, on the right as you're looking at it, and that seems to be new. Valves look fairly new. They're mullered valves. There's 5 of them. Well, the ones I looked at were mallard anyway. There's a couple that just sort of found it difficult to see the writing on. But anyway, there we go. So this seems to have been relatively decently serviced, which they said it was. So I hooked it up to my system, and how did it sound? Well, okay. And I think, the learning point for me and for you is that, well, if you're going to go and buy vintage equipment, you got to be prepared to put a lot into it. That means maybe spending a lot of money in order to get it right. Because whilst this has been, I think, recently serviced, it struck me that it is a very insensitive tuner. So it didn't really get great signal on anything. And this here, I was using my Bic beam box to have kind of a vintage system and not sort of the rabbit ears thing. So if you got the rabbit ears, I expect you wouldn't get much at all out of this. So I can't honestly tell you whether it's the best sounding tune or not. I think maybe if I put a lot of work into it and money by having a proper, maybe a roof area or something like that to get a good signal, spent a lot of money and getting a stereo decoder, that's one of the recommended ones, then maybe it might be the best. But I'm not sure I'm going to do that at the moment. I might keep it and do it in the future, depending on whether they keep the FM signal going. But otherwise, it's an interesting thing. It's a nice thing. It's a heavy thing. But I'm going to stick to my Myriad tuner that I've been using because I think it's better sounding. Maybe not have the potential of this, but better sound at the moment. It's easier, it can get a good signal with the Bic beam box, and it doesn't require the same work and money I think this is going to need to put in to get it to its full potential. So I hope that's been interesting. Thanks for watching.